Everybody, quick video, post gym, day off. Okay, the word of the day is expression. The expression isn't the thing. What do I mean? I've made this analogy before, but I'll make it again because I think it's appropriate in making the point. A misconception about surfers, except for, very high-end surfers, let's say, high-level surfers, is that a surfer surfs 1,000 different places once. That's not true. Surfers, by and large, surf one place 1,000 times. It's about having a relationship with a place, surfing is. It's one of the reasons it's a beautiful sport. When you get to know your home break, you see it in all of its different expressions, in its different conditions, different currents, tides, nearshore wind, swell direction. So you have all of these different inputs, and what's underneath the surface expresses itself with waves, and you learn that place intimately because you go and then ride those waves, right? The expression is the wave, but the wave isn't the thing. It's neither the ocean, nor is it what's underneath the surface at that break. It's the interaction and it's the expression. Having a relationship with a person is about seeing them through all of their different conditions such that they express in a wide variety of ways, and the unifying theme of those variety of expressions is a simulacrum of what's underneath the surface. It gets us closer to understanding who that person really is, seeing them through all of their different expressive conditions. This is the mistake that we make about others, it's the mistake that we make about ourselves, and it's the mistake that we are making in the West as a society. We are conflating the expression with the thing, and they are not the same thing. You may behave a certain way under certain conditions, and you are responsible for that behavior, of course, but that's not who you are. Who you are continues into the future. That expression has a finite time in the world. Part of being in a relationship with a spouse, a girlfriend, boyfriend, and God, and a relationship with the self, is having the patience and faith to believe, to trust, to choose, to see more of the expression of what's underneath the surface with the other and with the self. And what I mean by the mistake that the West is making is, in a secular materialist society that worships that which can be measured. You can measure the wave because you can watch it. You can watch its amplitude, you can measure its wavelength, you can chart its direction, from whence it angled itself. But the wave isn't what's underneath the surface. The wave isn't the reef or the sandbar or the rock shelf, and you can't really measure that if we're keeping to the metaphor of the water is what's on the surface. So in the West, we focus on measurements. The scientific method is all about measurements, and that's important because you don't get to surf unless you go out there and learn how the wave works and measure the wave in a manner of speaking. But really becoming a great surfer and understanding a local break at a deep level is to know where the reef is contoured and where the rock shelf drops off and where the sand is building up. You know what the wave's going to do before it does it. How? Because you've been out there and you've seen it so much that you know it. not just the expressions that it makes. The West has lost its relationship with God because the great con of materialism is that what we see and measure and the expressions of the material world are the thing. But of course, they're not the thing. They're what the thing, spirit, motivation, inspiration, beauty, joy, love, faith, has produced, right? The natural world produces life. Life is an expression of God. Focus on God. Focus on the transcendent. Focus on love. Focus on what's underneath the surface. Understanding that you can't see it, but that all the expressions it makes is a manifestation of it, and see what you learn. That's where real insight and inspiration and serendipity and epiphany comes from, is communing with what's underneath the surface, with the self, with relationships with loved ones, with relationship with God, with a pursuit, a hobby. Focus on what comes before the expression, and you'll be able to find that you have a greater deal of understanding moving forward. I hope that makes sense. I know I'm getting into a little bit of a kind of a ethereal, esoteric space, but I hope the wave metaphor grounds the idea, because to me it has helped me to be more graceful in my life, to not be as egotistical, self-righteous, self-involved as I otherwise would be, and to find the best course of action through a higher understanding of what's underneath the surface and the thing that I'm focusing on. And that exercise, I would argue, is an exercise in faith. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you very much. If you are watching this video and not subscribed, please do. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you get any value from this, I would appreciate you doing that. And if you need kind of my credentials, like who am I, why should you listen to me? I'm a nationally registered and state certified paramedic. I practice as a paramedic. I'm a combat medic in the Army National Guard, have been for 5 years. I've been through traumatic stress. I have dealt with mental illness, emotional instability, physical degradation and injury, serious injury. And I've been morally and spiritually bankrupt. And now I'm not any of those things. I've worked on myself a great deal and found paths forward that have allowed me to be a good, if not one of the better, if not, striving to be the best expressions of myself. I have good relationships with my family and friends. All those things are things that I have hard won. And I am not saying these things to toot my own horn. I'm saying these things to hopefully give you a justification to listen to me and take what I say seriously. I'm not saying do what I say or I'm right and you're wrong or anything like that. That's never my intention. My intention is to stand in my own space, speak my own, thoughts, and hope that they're helpful, that they can give you something of value. And so that's what I'm here trying to do. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.